Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great day so far. As you can see, I'm back out on the water after a long day at work. The weather, it is what it is. It's still a beautiful day. I don't know if it will hold up or not, but you know what the heck. Sometimes you just have to take a chance. So I was thinking about what to talk about today, and I would like to focus today on retirement and planning for retirement, but from the aspect that you've done the research, you know your F number or your financial freedom number, and now you just have to decide to pull the switch or flip the switch and pull the plunger. You have to look at retirement as it's really like a moving target. It's a moving target just like life and how long we'll be here on this beautiful place we call Earth. And really, there's just no guarantees about retirement, how long we'll be retired, how long we'll live. So it's important to realize that no matter how much planning you do, no matter how many spreadsheets you've created, no matter how many financial advisors, family members, friends you've spoken with about retirement and moving on with this next stage in your life, there's just no guarantees. It's all an assumption, especially when it comes to this thing I mentioned in previous videos called the F number or freedom number. And what I mean by that, even though I know my so-called freedom number, it's still an assumption. It's assumption that I should hopefully, live a certain number of years and the lifestyle I want to have during those years in retirement. But still, it's really an assumption. I don't know, how long I have, how many good years I'll have my health, both mentally and physically. It's really an assumption. My freedom number is based on lots of assumptions. How long I'll live, how much I'll spend, month to month, year to year. But it's really just guessing. Maybe educated guessing, but it's still guessing. We don't know. So for those reasons, it's important to realize that no matter how much you plan, how long you plan, what type of tools you use in your planning, it's still an assumption. Just like knowing how long we'll be here and how long we'll have in each of the stages in retirement. As I've mentioned before, people talk about the 3 stages, the first stage being the go-go years, the second stage, the slow-go years, and the final stage, the no-go years. But that's still an assumption. That's assuming you go from one stage to the next in a certain order. But as I've mentioned in at least one previous video, my father, he was, considered to be, very healthy. He was very active, and he was in the prime of his go-go years when he got the diagnosis of having lung cancer. And for him, he went from go, go, go to no go, and very quickly. And it wasn't just because of the lung cancer, but that, along with the chemo, his treatments, it just sucked the life out of him. And he had no idea, if he had next month, next year. It was all an assumption. But he did the best he could with what he knew at that time. So, I've mentioned it, others have mentioned as far as these 3 stages, but there's no guarantee you're going to go from one to the next, or if you'll even make it to the first one. If you are, in your pre-retirement phase like I am, I'm assuming that I'm going to have a retirement, and hopefully a retirement soon. But who knows? I'm on this beautiful lake on this gorgeous day, and you know what? Heart attacks happen. People have strokes. Who knows? I mean, I've got a life jacket back there behind me, but there's no guarantees. I could fall out of this kayak, and that could be the end of me and the retirement question. Well, I hope the retirement question would go on. But as I'm saying, there's just no guarantees. So once you figure out your situation, you really have to act on it. And even though it may not be perfect, it still could be close enough. And even for myself, I have my freedom number, up here on paper and some spreadsheets. But is it perfect? No, it's an assumption. I'm assuming many, many things. And a lot of them may happen. And I'm sure many won't. It's just like, preparing for the worst, and the best outcome happens, Who knows? So my situation, it's probably not perfect. It's just based on a lot of assumptions. Hopefully some, educated guessing. But it's not perfect. And that's life. Life is not perfect, and retirement's not going to be perfect. No matter how much you plan it, things will come up. Could be your health, could be your family's health. Who knows? There's just no way of knowing what is around the corner. All you can do is to prepare the best you can and go for it. And that's what I'm doing. I could be way off. Hopefully I'm not. But it's still an assumption. And I'm assuming I will have these 3 stages of retirement in my future. But who knows how long that future will last? No one does. Well, maybe somebody up there knows. But we don't. So we have to do the best we can with what we know and what we assume. So things may not be perfect. And my situation for sure isn't perfect. But it doesn't matter. I'm willing to be flexible and make changes and deal with them as they arrive, because I'm sure just around the corner something's going to happen. Who knows? It could be with, myself, could be my health, could be a family member's health, could be, with the world. Who knows what could happen next. We can just assume what we can and do the best we can, and that's really what this video was about. So, as I always say, if it's your first time, welcome. Got a crane, I think, flying over there in the distance. I get easily distracted on the water. I love it. I love that it's always different, always changing. Could be the same lake, it's always different every day. Weather, the light, the smell, the sounds, the critters. So, like I said, if it's your first time, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully you'll watch others I've made. I often say, come for the content and stay for the show. And if you've been here before, thank you for your loyalty. Appreciate you coming back. And like I always say, share your experiences, both your victories as well as your challenges, and help others, maybe do a better job at assuming, their futures, just like my future. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of assuming, making a lot of assumptions, and that's really all they are. Sometimes, people call it, I guess, educated guess or guessing. So on that note, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and be safe out there. Take care.